Welcome back for another Crafting for the Community video. I'm Kathy, and today I'm going to show you how to take one ball of yarn and a pair of scissors and your fingers and make a scarf that you can give away to somebody, especially now that it's winter and cold out. So let's get started. Thanks for joining us. So you're going to pull out some yarn from your ball of yarn, and you're going to see that there's already these pre-formed loops. But you do need a little bit of a tail to weave in, so you're going to want to cut a couple of these loops. 2 or 3 should do it. So you see now I have a nice strand of yarn that I can weave in at the end. Now for this scarf, we'll do 7 loops wide, and you can do it as long as you, whatever length you would like. I usually do it for the whole ball of yarn, but you're going to make sure you have your 7 loops and that they're facing up. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to take, after that 7th loop, you're going to fold your yarn behind. And for the next 7 loops, you're going to want to make sure that everything is facing up. And when you get started, it's a little difficult to keep them all going the same direction, but as you get going, it'll be easier. I promise. Okay. So with your first loop, you're going to tuck it over the one behind, pull it up, and you're going to take your next loop, tuck it over the one behind, pull it up. So even with one row, you can see the loops are starting to stand up a lot better. So now you should have 7 loops still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can check the back to make sure you didn't skip any loops, which we did not. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your yarn and you're going to fold it again. And you wanna make sure that you keep those loops facing up so they aren't twisted. And then you'll repeat the process. You'll put the loops from the front over the back. And this is the only stitch you need to be able to do for this whole entire scarf. And you'll see it'll start to come into shape here. And if you skip a stitch, you can always pull it right back out and go back and fix your mistake. So you make sure you have your 7 loops. You didn't miss anything on the back. Perfect. Fold the yarn again. Get your loops standing up. I kind of think they look like bunny ears at this point, so I like to think of them as my bunny ears. So you keep going with this stitch until you get all the way to the end, or until you get to the length you like. Once you're at the end or to the length you like, you're going to want to finish it off so that it's nice and secure. So I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to get to the end, and your ends are going to look like this with a bunch of loops. You'll want to snip a couple loops on to make a tail again. Tie the end so it doesn't unravel. And then you're going to want to finish it off starting at the loop furthest from your tail. So in my case, I'm going to start on the right because my tail is on the left. If my tail was on the left, I'd start on the right. And what you do is you take the furthest loop and go over the one next to it, and then take that loop and go over the one next to it. If you're a knitter, this will be similar to casting off your knitting. So you'll do that until all the loops are over the one next to it. You'll end up with 1 loop left, and that's where you'll want to stick your tail through. So now you have a nice finished edge, and then in the back, you'll just weave it in. If you have a yarn needle or even a paper clip, you can use that for weaving it in instead of your fingers. And you want to pull it nice and snug. Not too tight. So there you go, you've got your end woven in the back, and the top is finished. And then you come back to where you started. And this is the tail that we would have started with. We want to make sure we weave that end in too. You tie a knot in it so it doesn't unravel. And then we'll weave this one in as well. Okay? So now you can see your two ends have nothing hanging from them, and you've got a nice warm scarf that you can give to somebody. So that is how you make a scarf with no knitting needles and no crochet hooks, just your fingers and a pair of scissors. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed today's video.